2024 will be the biggest year ever for Cosmos airdrops, and I'm going to outline a complete guide of every token, strategy, and tip that you're going to want to follow. And if you've been following this channel, you've already qualified for one massive airdrop dimension, which we'll talk about more. And I'm challenging myself to earn over $100,000 from just crypto airdrops in 2024, and I'm going to show you exactly how I plan to do that and document this journey throughout the year publicly. What's up YouTube, welcome back and happy new year. I'm Crypto with Nick and I'm always looking to provide you the latest DeFi strategy, crypto airdrops, or altcoin gems. Be sure to hit that like button and subscribe, check all the links below in the description and come join the completely free community Discord. But let's get into today's video of everything you need to know about Cosmos airdrops in 2024. The idea of Cosmos is that it's the internet of blockchains, and it's built on top of this protocol known as IBC, the Inter-Blockchain Communication Protocol. And what this really allows you to do is move assets and data between any of these ecosystems that you see displayed here. When new ecosystems or projects launch in the Cosmos, they have to create a strategy on how they plan to distribute their token to the world, and it often makes sense to align themselves with individuals who are already staking projects in the Cosmos. And that's because crypto airdrops are the best form of marketing for any projects. If we take a recent example like Celestia that just did a massive airdrop, they want to ensure that they're giving tokens to individuals that will then continue to stake those tokens rather than people who might just go ahead and dump the tokens, take the profits, and leave. We're going to focus on 5 main projects in the Cosmos that have the most opportunity. That will be Osmosis, Kujira, Injective, the Cosmos Hub, and Celestia. Now, there could be opportunities where I do miss something, but I believe focusing on these 5 will cover at least 98% of opportunities, which I believe is going to be a solid strategy for us. The first thing I want to do is take a look at previous airdrops so that way we can understand what type of precedent has been set, as well as go ahead and get insights into maybe different tips and tricks that we want to add into our strategy. First, we're going to look at the Celestia Genesis airdrop since this one was the most recent. On this page, they show us the eligible criteria, and Celestia went ahead and rewarded 2 different ecosystems. Early adopters of Ethereum rollups, meaning layer 2s, as well as Cosmos stakers. You can see here that Celestia went ahead and provided an equal amount of allocation between these 2 different ecosystems, right? It rewarded both of them with 20 million. To qualify, you had to be the top 50% of active users on Ethereum rollups. This is something I had personally qualified for. Or you had to be a staker of greater than $75. You can see here on Cosmos Hub or Osmosis, and then you also received an activity multiplier, things such as swaps, gas spent, stuff like that. So we have our first criteria here that we can really latch onto, and they went ahead and airdropped to individuals who had staked at least more than $75. Now let's look at another airdrop to gather more insights, such as Stride, which I believe is the largest liquid staking solution for the Cosmos. Stride decided to airdrop to many different ecosystems in the Cosmos because they're offering a liquid staking solution for various products. But if you notice, the 5 that we decided to focus on are mostly listed here: Cosmos Hub, Osmosis, Injective. If we take a look at the min-max here, we can start to see that the minimum of atom required staked was 10 atoms. So this is going to roughly translate into $100. And so we're seeing similarities between Celestia, which required $75, and Stride, which was about $100. Next, we have Dimension, this idea of rollups as a service. And this Dimension airdrop is actively live, and you can only claim it for almost 14 more days. So if you've staked TIA or Atom or Osmos or have been active on Solana or Ethereum, there's a really good chance that you might qualify. So you'll be sure to check this out right away. If we take a look at the criteria, this to me has been the most relaxed one. If you had staked just a minimum of 1 TIA, you qualified for this airdrop. You can see here they also decided to reward some active addresses on Ethereum L2s. And for the first time I'm really seeing this, they've actually rewarded quite a few different NFT collections, most notably Pudgy Penguins, but also Bad Kids, Mad Lads, and Tessorians. Last project we're going to look at for insights is Saga, who recently just announced their airdrop program as well as their eligible criteria. Saga went ahead and rewarded a few different communities, notably Atom and Celestia for Cosmos, as well as Polygon and Avalanche. When we looked at Dimension, I would consider that a very relaxed airdrop turns, and on the other side, Saga is probably more aggressive as they were looking for more than 25 atoms staked by a certain date. We also did go ahead and airdrop to Celestia stakers, but by the time the Celestia airdrop went live, you had a very short amount of time to stake your Celestia. So their cutoff was December 1st, meaning that they were looking for individuals who essentially claimed their airdrop and staked it right away. But if we take a look at this, they were looking for individuals who had staked more than 23 TIA. What we've learned so far by looking at 4 past airdrops is that the 5 ecosystems that we're choosing to focus on should reward us every single time. Now let's start looking at the first ecosystem, which is going to be Cosmos Hub. Cosmos Hub is really the heart of the Cosmos and is secured by the Atom token. You can see here they have over 249 apps and services, as well as over $67 billion in assets under management. But this also means that Atom is actually the most popular asset to stake in all of the Cosmos, meaning that your airdrop could be diluted as projects only allocate a certain portion to Atom stakers. What we'll want to do is create a wallet either using Kepler or Leap, which are my 2 favorite wallets for interacting with the Cosmos, and we're going to want to, of course, fund it with Atom tokens. To be safe, I would say at least have 25 Atom tokens, which is going to cost you roughly $250 at this point. But you'll go ahead and earn as well a 14% APR on top of that, paid out in additional Atom tokens. And if it's not obvious at this point, airdrop farming is going to cost you a bit of upfront capital investment. But I believe 2 things. One is all the tokens you're looking to buy will also appreciate in value throughout the bull run. In terms, you will also be paid back for those airdrops 10x, 50x, even 100x throughout the course of 2024. Another very important aspect is if you're looking at, for example, the Kepler dashboard, there's this section for governance. And what you'll always want to make sure is that you participate in governance in every single wallet that you create, because this is often an eligible criteria in making sure that the people who are staking are also contributing to the ecosystem. All of these recent proposals I have as well participated in, and just make sure you are as well. Next, we're going to check out Celestia, which is my top Cosmos pick for 2024, and it's this idea of a modular blockchain. I'm not going to spend a ton of time deep diving into Celestia. I have a full dedicated video on the Celestia blockchain and everything you need to know about this project. What I do want to cover is just how absolutely massive Celestia's ecosystem is shaping up to be. Taking a quick look at Celestia's ecosystem, we can see there is a ton of opportunity here. And we've already talked about 2 airdrops that have already gone live in 2024, being Dimension and Saga. And there's quite a few projects here I believe are going to reward Celestia stakers in 2024. Projects like Barachain, Eclipse, Caldera, Hyperlane, and Manta Network are just a few that I've been looking into. You come here to the Kepler dashboard, you'll be able to stake your Celestia and earn about 16% APR paid out in additional TIA tokens. Another project I really want to focus on is Milky Way, because this is the first native liquid staking protocol for TIA. Not familiar with Cosmos staking, there's a 21-day unbonding period, meaning once you unstake, you stop receiving rewards, and it requires 21 days to actually withdraw those tokens. So liquid staking projects are huge in Cosmos, but there's a caveat. Usually you do not receive your Cosmos airdrops if you choose to go ahead and stake through a liquid staking protocol. But the reason why Milky Way is so attractive is because they do not yet have a token, and I believe they're going to reward people who stake their TIA with them with the future airdrop. If we consider another liquid staking protocol, Jito, which provides liquid staking for Solana, by staking 1 Solana, these users received over $10,000. Milky Way obviously introduces some additional smart contract risk, but I verified that they have a top quality auditor and about 20 million in TVL, and it's a risk I'm comfortable taking on. Next project we're going to look at is Injective, which is a blockchain dedicated for finance and was a top performing altcoin in 2023. We can see that this project is backed by Binance, Pantera, Jump, and even Mark Cuban. Even though Injective has reached a $1 billion market cap, its DeFi ecosystem is incredibly small, only reaching $20 million in TVL. And we can see not a lot of projects so far have really built on Injective. This means that there's a ton of opportunity that if we stake our Injective tokens, it's likely that future apps that build on the ecosystem would reward Injective stakers. Again, through the Kepler wallet, we can go ahead and stake Injective tokens and we'll receive about 15% APR. Just like all Cosmos projects, make sure you come here to the governance tab, you look at all the different proposals, and you go ahead and cast your vote. Next, we're going to take a quick look at Osmosis, and even they are promoting Milky Way or Milk Tea for my boba drinkers for when we are talking about Celestia. Osmosis is this app chain deck built in the Cosmos, and its stakers are usually rewarded with airdrops because it's become the home of deep liquidity and being able to swap between any different project in the Cosmos. And again, you can do this all through the Kepler wallet, where you can go ahead and stake your Osmos token, and you'll again receive about 10% APR paid out in Osmo. Finally, we're going to take a look at Kujira, which offers a full suite of DeFi products, and its altcoin performance has been absolutely insane. The team has been around for quite a few years, originally started on Terra Luna, which of course debt spiraled to zero, and the team has completely revamped everything, built a ton of new products and applications, and I think we're going to see quite a few new builders build on top of it and perhaps reward Kujira stakers. Kujira is actually the only one that you can't stake through the Kepler wallet natively. You have to come over here to Kujira Blue, pick a validator, and stake your Kujira. Now that we've gone over the 5 ecosystems that we're targeting, including Osmosis, Kujira, Injective, Cosmos Hub, and Celestia, I want to focus on tips and tricks to make sure that you have the best chance for qualifying for airdrops in 2024. First tip we focus on is choosing the right validator. We want to make sure we choose a validator that's not controlled by any venture capital or centralized exchanges, because in the past, these validators might have been eliminated from receiving the airdrop. The safest way to do this is probably just to stay away from the top 10 to 15 validators. For example, we can see that Coinbase is the #1 and has the highest amount of atoms staked, over 9%. But if we scroll down the list, past this top 15, 20, then what we can start to see is a lot more community-run validators. Oftentimes you can click on them and they'll even give you a website that you can go ahead and visit and familiarize yourself with this validator. So remember, no top 10 validators or anything run by a centralized exchange. Next thing we need to determine is how much minimum do we need in each wallet to ensure that we qualify. Something to consider when it comes to the Cosmos ecosystem is, even though you might use a single wallet application like Kepler, each of these ecosystems each have their own unique address, meaning that you could qualify for a single airdrop multiple times over multiple addresses, because your Atom address is different than your TIA, which is different than your Osmos, and so on. My strategy was to set up a single wallet to qualify for 90% of airdrops. I would ideally target something like this: 25 Atom, 30 TIA, 100 Osmos, 25 Kuji, and 5 Injective. And so this would cost us in today's price about $1,100. Now, this isn't very capital efficient, and so we might be able to create a better strategy than this. And that's why we've been looking at past airdrops to kind of get an idea of what is really required going forward. We've seen in the past where airdrops like Dimension only required a single TIA, while other projects like Saga required almost 33. If you're going to set up just one single instance of this, this is what I would recommend and go with. But if you're like me and you have an ambitious goal of $100,000 in 2024, my goal is to create a master plan of airdrop farming operations, which means I'm actually going to have dozens of wallets. So if we take a look at this, this isn't very capital efficient. So instead, what we can do is kind of adopt this idea of sizing with different buckets. So we could, for example, do one wallet with 1 TIA, a second wallet with 10, 20, 30, and so on. And this way, maybe not all of our wallets will always qualify, but we can ensure that more wallets will qualify. What I can also do now is create a bunch of different wallets, for example, with just one single TIA. And if these wallets are eligible, then this would obviously be much more lucrative and capital efficient than saying doing 30 TIA per wallet. Now, these wallets might not qualify, but that's okay too, because now I'm also not investing a lot. Third tip we need to focus on is avoiding any kind of Sybil detection. And this is the idea of, if we go ahead and create 10, 20, even 100 wallets, that we make sure that those wallets are not connected, so that an outside party would be able to understand that those were all owned by the same person. And that's because airdrops are getting much more strict and are putting many more guidelines and rules in place. So the biggest rule that I would have here is make sure to never send any of these coins between the different wallets. The best opportunity here is to always send tokens back to a centralized exchange and then go ahead and back out to the right wallet. Last tip I would go over is, if you have limited funds for setting up an airdrop operation, obviously you want to prioritize maybe some over others. So even though I believe that Atom will always give you the most opportunity for getting airdrops, I also believe it's going to be the most diluted, meaning there's more addresses staking Atom than anything else in the Cosmos. My #1 pick for 2024 would be Celestia, as I believe this has the most upside. For number 2, I would probably focus on Injective. Again, the ecosystem is growing rapidly in 2024, and there's probably not that much competition. For number 3, I would tie between Osmosis and Atom. This is because these are more likely guaranteed you always to get the airdrop, but likely diluted. And for number 5, I would probably focus on Kujira last here. That wraps it up, and be sure, come follow me on Twitter where I'm able to share more frequent updates about the crypto markets. For example, I called this altcoin gem ReStakeFi that I'm a big fan of just back on December 20th that has gone up over 600%. Be sure, hit that like button, subscribe, come join the completely free community Discord, and cheers, I'll see you in the next one.